The game hasn't finished yet. We are pushing in the agenda that we saw already in 2021 until the period of March 2023. Saturn finishing Aquarius. I would like to discuss in this video about the phenomena that are happening in astrology in a general terms and how we can engage with our plan going forward. We are between eclipses now. I'm recording this video October 26th, 2022. Yesterday we had a solar eclipse in Scorpio, and we are heading for another lunar eclipse in Taurus that's going to be more impacting because the eclipses are mostly impacted by the lunatism, and are covering more areas that exposed to the eclipse. Mars, by the end of the month, will start a retrograde in Gemini, and Mars, that is the ruler of Scorpio, the south node, and Aries, where Jupiter is now ending the retrograde, is going to retrograde too, and going to do a square with Neptune. That Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Jupiter going to Pisces. This is a time of marriage and having a plan to cooperate, to collaborate, to do new agreements as part of the plan that many of us had in mind to do alone. Because this part of the mountain, the highest place in Capricorn, the last degrees of Capricorn are the highest, where Pluto is finishing right now. And it's also the Pluto return of the US, is a time to hold hands, to accomplish this winner placement of the plan that started even officially from 2008, but more symbolically from 2010. The 2020 crisis helped to embed many of those plans in the digital. You needed to show your certification via the phone, everything via the phone. To be informed via your phone is like everybody with computer inside their hands 24/7. And Saturn finishing Aquarius now, after having a square with Uranus, is very much where this technology is going next. And how we are, as individuals, maximized our freedom using this technology to our favor. Crypto is one of those tools as well, that even that some conspiracies will say that the Bitcoin created by them to control humanity, to go to a centralism of one world currency. I'm not agree with this, because the agenda is to have a central bank cryptocurrency. The blockchain that is decentralized, that we know as Bitcoin today, is an option for people to learn this technology that is not very easy peasy as a integrated app that is regulated for the masses, is an invitation for people and was for the last years to find their way out. It's demanding studies, discipline, engaging with new technologies. And many people still preferring to store their crypto in banks, in centralized platform like exchanges. Still very triggered to trade it for dollars and to manage sustain the current system, to be rich in it. And it's very confusing because this is what we feel that going to have a case. But people forget about freedom. People forget about the need for privacy. And even that from 2020, we saw that our privacy went away, even that ridiculously it seems like we had privacy because everybody stayed in the home, but no, everything became recorded, tracked, and this is a moment for shift from March, April 2023. And why so symbolical March, April 2023? Mars will finish Gemini, is with us in Gemini for 7 months since it started. Saturn will move to Pisces and Pluto will move to Aquarius. We never lived it, no one on earth lived this Pluto in Aquarius yet. And those are many historical events that we haven't seen for a very long time. So I will try to simplify it as possible, even adding more astrological schemes. In last March 2022, you know what, before this, I'm now back in the same place I was in the last months of 2021 until March 2022 in Brazil, a place that improved my life in many levels, and even from the spiritual matter of the theme. It was so high spot for all of us by the beginning of 2022, despite of COVID, in our targets and understanding the risk we are taking and the push forward we are doing, and even markets were high until the beginning of 2022. In November, when I just arrived here, I was sitting here in a table with a guy from Ukraine that arrived for a surfing event. And we were sitting on a table number 22. And he said, I'm not understanding astrology, you don't need, but I'm telling you. And he's from Ukraine. In 22nd of February 2022, which is 22222, something big is happening, a shift. The pandemic will over. I also, if you remember my past video from last summer, I say that it will end officially in February, as I saw the Moderna stock to start falling, and it's also integrated with the rest markets. But I told him that after this date, something will shift, and the story of the COVID we will see differently, and the war started in his country. And I told him, wait and see, and we are sitting in table 22. So indeed it happened 2 days after the official war, 24th of February 2022. But something else started happening there. Mars and Venus and Pluto met in the highest position of 27 degrees in Capricorn, in this highest point that Pluto will going to get in the end of the year. This is a mark top where we were. Also in the value of your portfolio, even in the value of your life, in your projection, in your realization, what and how you're going to get your independency and sovereignty. And it's always about don't comply to non-divine rules that government try to take all the credit for themselves by the name of science, by the name of your health and your love to your dears. So many deception. Now it will be the challenge with those eclipses to fall apart. Dying projects, dying belief system, dying patterns, in order for preparation for the new phase that I'm going to cover in minutes from March, April, officially 2023. It's also a game about who is seeing the real game, what has use case. The inflation that that rise above our imagination. And the crash in the crypto space is the last eclipse. Made people being desperate to stay in the system, to hold to the stones of the temple, the fake temple of the system, of the highest entity, which is the US, that born with Pluto in those last degrees, and sold the holding for freedom and closed the doors that actually could bring them to have other options, to stay back in the system, answering to a lot of fear, propaganda's regulation, how to manage wealth in the system, etc. This is a game of who knows what has use case of building something that is more beautiful in a more sovereign abilities. Some countries didn't complied as the central rulers would expect them to act, and some countries are still outside of the game in a way. We are familiar with a topic that become very trendy to describe the dollar milkshake, all the derivatives and the structure of the dollar, how they created a situation that now the US is like sucking all the holdings from other currencies related to the dollar. But I was warning from China, because China can do this milkshake on the account of the US. So now the US feels like I'm winning all the underdogs, and China could do it as well to the US assets. They are waiting for the right time. Saturn will enter to Pisces in March 2023 with Mars moving to Cancer. This is entering us for 2.5 years of global recession. Dissolve and end of many governmental plans and sovereignty and on people, that in one level is a good news for people that seeking freedom, because suddenly governments will be less potent to punish or to order or to control with all the fear propaganda they are doing. This is a period that will last 2.5 years, that many system and infrastructure that we based to be safe and secure will be destructed or dissolved or destroyed. This is the end of the zodiac. Now Jupiter and Neptune are in Pisces, and we started seeing it from April. The life of many people since April 2022 started to get worse, by portfolio wise, emotionally wise. I heard about many relationship issues. This was the moment until March 2022, February, March 2022, with this point of Mars, Venus, and Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn. All planets move direct. It was a time for take risk, go with your truth, and push to where you feel best, and using the system best to your freedom and needs. And from April, March, April, with the war, we started seeing dissension in our life, in our portfolio, economy, worries. And I told in all my last videos last month, it's not a time to quit, because the journey will continue into March. And of course, as I showed in the predictions from the eclipse, as we just had yesterday, market will start climbing higher. But it may climb higher until the beginning of next year, January, February, because usually it's advancing the collective consciousness. I'm seeing shift a month before. And then a big shift is coming geopolitically, infrastructure-wise. And if we were prepared by technology, dominating technology, because technology is not going away, we will need to use technology and even higher technology. Many internet and websites will fall apart and will force us to engage with a new world technology that will be the beginning chaotic. It will be chaotic world. It will be very non-ordered. We will need to create this world. We need to build trust between us. This is the messages of astrology. When many systems, including banking system, will not be there for you in the way that you think right now. Liquidities issues in all level. So it's very much a pirate time, 2023 to 2025. And pirates are free, are very free to manage to build their own rules. And this will be the need for community building their own rules and standards and agreements. At the same time, it can be destruction due to wars, because next year also Chiron and Jupiter meeting in Aries to be wars, and in wars in order to destroy the old. No one can promise you, let's win the COVID to come back to normal. Which normal? Normal is not the normal they wanted. It's not part of the agenda neither, and by the evolutionary cycle. The normal is to come back to normality in your mind, in your brain. Is it healthy for you to live in a gray city where you have all those McDonald's and stores where you consume and you are just distracted in materialistic world with mental issues and need to have a lot of alcohol and other substances to feel a piece of sanity? Is not normal. Coming back to normal is coming back to nature. Coming back to normal is coming back to your happiness, to the normality of your mind and body. And how we are doing this so good that those parties and the party is destroyed, is going apart, is needed. So when Mars now is retrograde in Gemini, is going to activate all the eclipses that we saw in 2020, the eclipses of Sagittarius, Gemini, both information, false information, and the fight on the Academy, Sagittarius, all those people that putting in the subtitle, doctor, said, a doctor, professor, what we learned, and I was preparing from 2018, 2019, and forget all what you learned. It's not going to be valid. Mars in Gemini retrograde will activate the doubt and the vision and the verbal aggression to redebate and to rediscuss information that was hidden from us. And these eclipses in Scorpio also will need to face us with why we needed to take those liquids, why we needed to follow those rules, even they were not avoiding transmission. That's what they told us. Protect your father and mother. Don't do it for yourself, doing it for others. This is a Scorpio trap. And the next eclipses that are coming from next year on will be the North Node will move to Aries. It's all about, think about your freedom, rebel. Think about yourself, you're what you want, not what they want. Know how they want to use your money, how you want to use money and your energy and your life force. And now, in August, 2022, 2023, if I'm not mistaken, around this summer, next summer, Venus will retrograde in Leo, and she will oppose Pluto in Aquarius. It's a good news for those that are waiting for the collapse of the old structure we knew. It's like was the end of kingdoms in different eras, um, and always will be some new king. You know, we need money, we need king, we need all the archetypes of astrology. But Venus will retrograde in Leo, will have a lot to see about love and about being authentic with ourselves and spirituality, because also Saturn will be in Pisces. But what love? I still need to contemplate on the transit of next summer, because it will be time of soul families coming together, and it's all about unity of like-minded people in small groups, and this is going to be the rise of the underdogs. All those poor countries that were abused and enslaved to this current system will find their liberty or their option out by suddenly find inner resources for providing thrive abilities to people. Those that were abused by the outer plan, by the outer rules, will have hard time. So in the next months and 2 years, I'm also seeing a break of territories, all the debates that we heard in the last decade. Spain wants, Catalonia wants to separate from Spain, and other countries, like, you know, those pieces. I see sort of like this, that the world will split to little communities and arrangements, like not one government, even one government to such, you see Brazil, one, you know, or United States, one president to all the country. We are going to a world of decentralization, that we will need to organize in small communities, and each communities will have different rules that will be complied with, will be managed by the people and not by someone elected. All this dictatorship thing will need to fall. So of course we are invited in this to happen, a distraction. Let's shuffle the cards, the game. It can't continue like this. So you need to be happy to have the crisis now. Let's be happy and welcome to the crisis, and not to be afraid of it. But at the same time, to do your preparation for this new ideal world that you want to see. To which community, to which people, how you are engaging with the people that you want to be working with, or engaging with, collaborating with. Every company, imagine that, like today, some companies have their card, you can use the points of their card, and it's like, it will be many currencies. Every company could have its own currency, and you will need to convert between using different communities, like the currency of today. That's why also we have so many tokens, even that a lot just abuse it like a scamic to trap the people that are believing in a casino to gain dollars. But if you are going more with the technology concept of it, you are already prepared to be a free person, to interact with different technologies, with different communities, with different services. All those 2021 and 2022 was invitation for not complying to the old way, but to reconnect with your nature, fighting for your own freedom by your own needs. Because when you are not in your nature and you are not happy and you are just struggling to be compatible to a system that is not respecting your nature, this is not a correct, it's not correct game or fight. The real fight is freeing yourself from non-compatible environments. So the game of the capitalistic world is still to push forward with the events that are coming and with disasters that may be applied. Many companies that we know today, like Apple, Microsoft, I said it already in the on-demand reading that I created to the community, and it's already in YouTube, will unify, will need to unify in order to push their agenda forward with the new technologies and order that will start appearing from 2026, even different banking system to what we can imagine today. We need to prepare for the chaos. I'm telling you that this is a renovation, destruction coming in many structures around the world, and we will need to start finding temporal structures and abilities in order to land with our anchor where from 2026 forward, when things already will be done with the destruction, and we will start to build, even that we can start building, but it's what we're building now will be temporal houses, like, you know, like cabinas in the desert, like camping, that you are temporal house. Meantime, you are a refugee in a way. This is like a refugee period with Saturn in Pisces. How you are finding peace outside of war, outside of craziness, when things are distracted, and you start being engaged with those refugees, with those unvaxxed, with those uncapitalistic, with those that, you know, to find your sanity and help until the war will end and we will be able to choose the lands, the places, and the better infrastructure. Sending all of you really big hug. I'm not constant in the way I'm uploading the videos to the public, but I'm constant in Patreon. I'm doing it according to the vibration needs and my inspirational places. Join me if you want to continue with the journey to the top of March, April. At least join via Patreon, where I'm sharing 1 month ahead every week report for crypto, oil, gold, S&P. It's going amazingly according to the prediction. I have the live charts, and you can study with me. I'm teaching the method, that how I'm doing all those services that I'm doing. I'm teaching how I'm seeing astrology. Convert your astrology knowledge to finance prediction 1. Very interesting months ahead. Let's welcome the fall of the towers. It's not happening in one day. Some events happening, boom, but it's not happening all the world in the same day. But this is the process, how we are planning ahead. Magical doors will happen when we are meeting the right people, when we start unifying our talents with in a new, in a better ecological way as well, to say. Yeah. Until the next, check the links below. Bye for now.